Dear learners, welcome to this Power Pack session. Chapter under discussion is Cash Flow Statement. Today, in this video section, I'll explain you the part C of Cash Flow Statement, that is financing activity. Here is the format of financing activity and the list of items which are shown in financing activity. First, we add all the financing activities which are related to inflow and outflow of cash are shown under this heading. Financing activity means broadly two parts, that is borrowed funds and owner's fund. So any movement that is inflow or outflow from the business in the borrowed funds or the owner's fund is recorded under financing activity. Inflows will definitely be added and surely all the outflows are subtracted. If there is any issue, that is increase in the share capital, will be added and the formula is current year minus previous year. Similarly, if there is any increase, that is issue of borrowed funds, which are debentures, bank loan, mortgage loan or public deposits, if there is any increase or rise is added, formula remains same, current year minus previous year. Next item is about security premium. Whenever shares or debentures are issued by any organization or a company at a price higher than face value, that extra amount is called as security premium. Formula still remains the same, current year minus previous year, because we are provided 2 years values. So any increase in the security premium is added and if there is any decrease would be subtracted. Formula is current year minus previous year. The items which will lead to outflow or which reduce the cash flow are reverse of these. If company buybacks its equity shares, it will reduce, will cost, it will lead to outflow, will be subtracted. If there is a redemption of preference shares or debentures, term redemption means repayment, paying back. So if company redeems the preference shares or debentures, it will lead to outflow. This will reduce the cash, therefore it is a negative item. Similarly, if company return backs its borrowed funds, that is public deposits, mortgage loan or bank loan, this will also lead to outflow of cash from business, therefore it will be subtracted. Besides, any kind of dividend, it may be interim dividend, it may be proposed dividend on equity shares or preference shares, every dividend and interest also leads to outflow, therefore it is subtracted. And finally we find the net flow from this activity, which can be positive or can be negative. If it is a positive, we call it as from. If it is negative, we term is used and will be given as equation number 3. Let's move on and understand it with the help of two different examples which are here on the board in front of you. We will try to find out only the cash from financing activity using these two different kind of examples. Moving on with this example number 1. Here is a set of information for 2 years. We have the data of 2020 as well as 2019. Equity share capital, preferential capital, security premium, debentures. This is the data which is given inside the balance sheet. This is an abstract, a small part of the balance sheet. And there is an adjustment regarding preference shares redeemed at 5% premium and as well as interest interim dividend of rupees 10,000. So using the information from additional information as well as the data of balance sheet, we will prepare cash from financing activity. So the formula, the format remains the same. Title will be cash flow. So let us do it. Erase this. See if we could manage. It is cash flow statement.
simple format. We have broadly 3 columns. One is particular column, then details, then amount. Here we go. This is a particular. Then we have details in terms of rupees, of course, and then another column is amount, again in terms of rupees. To start with, since we are doing part of the cash flow, not the full cash flow statement, so labeling it third because it is third part or third activity. Title is financing activity. We have to label the name of activity. Once it is labeled, double underline it to just steal the attention of an examiner. Start the item number 1 is equity share capital. So go with this. We have to see current year minus previous year. This is our current year, this is previous year. The data is increasing. So increase is always plus because money is coming in. So we will directly write here increase or issue, any one thing. Either it can be written issue or increase. Issue of share capital, that is equity. It's better to label it whether it is equity capital or preference capital, current year minus previous year, difference amount is to that. Directly label it in details column. Second item is preference share capital. This is very important point and pay attention because there is an adjustment also given with regard to it. If it is only the statement given 10% preference shares, so we have here previous year, current year minus previous year. We are getting a negative value. This means that there is a redemption. This means there is a repayment or redemption of share, preference shares. This leads to outflow, therefore it is a negative value. We will write it as redemption. Redemption of preference shares. So when preference shares are redeemed, difference is current year minus previous year. This gives a negative value of 1 lakh rupees. Now very important thing is we have one percentage attached to it. For this percentage we have to calculate the value of dividend, and that would be always on previous year value if there is nothing given in the question. This statement is premium on redemption at 5%. This is a separate adjustment, whereas dividend calculation is a separate adjustment. 10% would be calculated on previous year if there is no mention of dates. So this title will be dividend. Dividend paid. So dividend paid on preference shares. This will also be a negative item because we are paying out dividend. Percentage is 10 and it's always applied on the previous year if there is no date mentioned. So 10% of 3 lakh will be 30,000. Next, very important, what is this 5% premium means? This means that company has promised to the preference shareholders whenever we will repay your money, जब हम आपका पैसा वापस करेंगे तो हम आपको 5% redeem, 5% of the amount redeemed will be paid extra. So please be careful. Premium on redemption means कि आपका जो पैसा वापस कर रहे हैं उसके ऊपर extra money देंगे. Whereas when we calculate this dividend is applied on previous year if there is no date of redemption given. But premium will be calculated on the margin difference. हमारे पिछले साल shares थे 3 lakh. 3 lakh में से इस ईयर है 2 lakh. That means 1 lakh शेयर होल्डर्स का पैसा हम वापस कर रहे हैं. सिर्फ उन 1 lakh होल्डर्स को 5% एक्स्ट्रा देंगे, सभी को नहीं. So this 5% will be calculated on this margin difference, and its title will be premium on redemption. Premium on redemption. So keep it in mind. Security premium, premium on redemptions and dividend, these are different things, not the same. This rate is 5%, 5% will be calculated on 1 lakh, figure will turn out to be 5,000, this 5,000 is a negative term because again it will lead to outflow. Moving on to next item, security premium, formula is current year minus previous year, it is increasing, so therefore it would be plus, so it is security premium. There is an increase in the security premium, difference is 30,000, this is a positive item. Last, it is given 8% debentures. Again, be careful whenever with debentures or borrowed funds, there is any percentage, we have to calculate interest also on that item. And it would always be calculated on the previous year value if dates are not mentioned. Here, first we have to show the difference of this, because 3 lakh is the principal of current year, 2 lakh is the principal of previous year. There will be two treatments to be done. As a treatment number 1, we will show the difference in the principals, that is increase or decrease. This year our debentures have increased, so it will be written increase in debentures. Company has issued more debentures, or we can say increase in debentures. Difference of principal, that is 1 lakh rupees, it's a positive value. And next is about percentage, that is interest, which is a separate adjustment. So interest on debenture will be shown separately and it will be calculated on previous year. This will be labeled as interest on debentures. So interest on debentures on previous year, 8% of 2 lakh gives us 16,000. This is a negative item, it leads to outflow, it being paid. Last adjustment which is left is interim dividend. All dividends are paid out. Interim dividend. So interim dividend is again a negative item of 10,000. This will be minus 10,000. So with this we come to end of this part. Here we need to close it, find the net answer. Net answer will be copied in the amount column, and here we go with it. So this calculation has to be done. So last and final step is we have to find the answer, that is inflow or outflow from financing activity, by finding the net of these values. Here we have negative 1,30,000 and this is positive 1,30,000. It gets nullified. Then we are left with 16 plus 10, 26 plus 5, 31,000 negative value. So 2 lakh minus 31,000 gives us 1,69,000, which is a positive value. If it is a positive answer, it's to be jotted in amount column. If it is positive, so it will be labeled as cash from financing activity, equation number 3. Now, let's solve example number 2 and understand how to find cash flow statement. This is another style. This is a small abstract of the balance sheet. Again, 2 years information is given, 2019 and 2018. The items and title is shareholder fund, share capital. We know that while preparing financing activity from balance sheet, we take only 2 heads. That is head number 1, share capital from shareholders fund. We don't show reserves and surplus except security premium. We show non-current liabilities, that is long-term borrowings part, and we do not show current liability items in this financing activity. Means अगर balance sheet given है तो balance sheet में से asset side की कोई item financing activity में नहीं आती. Similarly, from liability side, your non-current liabilities as well as share capital aspect is only shown in financing activity. We do not take items other than security premium from reserves and surplus. Other reserves we don't take, and we even do not show current liabilities in financing
activity. Now let's start. Under share capital, there is no note given, so we have to directly apply a formula of current year minus previous year. So here it will be issue or increase. Any one term can be used. Increase in share capital. So increase in share capital, current year minus previous year. It's a positive value. In the detail column, amount will be written as 3,000. Next is reserves and surplus. We do not have any breakup. It will not be taken from non-current liabilities. There is a debenture and there is again increase in debenture by 10,000. Formula is current year minus previous year. Increase in 10% debentures. So this is the principal value of debentures which we are showing. 30 minus 20, 10,000. This is a principal increase. हमारा debentures का principal 10,000 increase हुआ है. And next we have 10% rate given. Therefore interest on debentures adjustment में लिखा हो या नहीं लिखा हो, we will have to do that adjustment. That is interest. Separate item, interest on 10% debentures, and interest is always paid under financing activity. Therefore it is a negative item. ये minus होगी. Calculation is done always on previous year. So 10% on 20,000 will give us 2,000, which is a negative value. Last, we have the current liabilities are not shown. We have proposed dividend. Accounting standard 4 applies to proposed dividend, and that accounting standard provides clearly states that current year's dividend is not recorded anywhere in cash flow. Previous year dividend is treated twice. This will be added in operating activity and same amount is subtracted from financing activity. Therefore, dividend dividend paid is again a negative value. Remember previous year value. Current year value of 2019, 30,000 will be ignored. Only 12,000 will be shown. For your remembrance, I am writing the previous year. Amount is 12,000. 12,000. This is a negative value. Exit, close it, and find the net flow. We have here 14,000 as minus, 13,000 as positive. Net answer is negative 1,000. This is an outflow. Negative 14 minus 13. Therefore, this will be treated as unjotted cash used for financing activity. Equation number 3. So we have